the people, even if we don't like them, even if we whatever, but for the sake of Christ, we must walk in love. And if they experience the most terrible things, some lose their children, we shouldn't celebrate. If any person, maybe you had disagreements and the person had their child or their children or their husband or their wife died, we don't need to celebrate, the disasters that are happening in other people.
It was a chilling and an emotional send-off. More than 300 people paid their last respects to Israella'S Bushiri, who departed the earth on Monday morning in the Kenyan capital of Nairobi. Prophet Bushiri and his wife saw to the interment of their first child and could not hold back the tears as they watched the final funeral rites performed for Israella'S. The last words Israella'S spoke 2 days before she gave up the ghost, according to her father, was, quote, "God works in mysterious ways." Unquote. 8-year-old Israella'S had been battling lung infection and was in the ICU until her passing on Monday. Social commentators say Bushiri deserved it because he had allegedly exploited from the poor financially and therefore was an eye for an eye. However, some clergymen have quickly asserted to the notion, calling these insensitive commentators to order. Prophet Mboro says at this particular period in the life of the Bushiris, they needed support from everyone.
Do not and the church leaders, we need to love one another. If one of the people, even if we don't like them, even if we whatever, but for the sake of Christ, we must walk in love. And if they experience the most terrible things, some lose their children, we shouldn't celebrate. If any person, maybe you had disagreements and the person had their child or their children or their husband or their wife, we don't need to celebrate the disasters that are happening in other people. We should, sympathize with other people. God bring rain to the good and the bad. And God loves us all. So don't be tempted and walk in hatred. Walk in love.
Apostle Johnson Suleiman said hating one another was far from the spirit of the Lord.
When you are always looking for something negative to say about somebody, and the reason people are saying is because there are people who also have hate in them ready to listen. We should stop it. A politician wants to hear that another politician slept and didn't wake up. Somebody wants to hear that somebody is down. Somebody wants to hear somebody is out of office. A pastor wants to hear another pastor's ministry has closed. A musician wants to see that another musician didn't do well. And the thing you must understand is that everybody occupies a space. If you remove them, you can't replace them. You can't replace them. Beyond what you see in the physical, that person represents a family. People are connected to that person. You can't replace them. And for those of us who have been insulted in any capacity, don't bother yourself. Whoever does not give you money should not give you headache. Don't bother yourself. God will keep you. God will protect you.
The body of the minor was flown into Malawi from Nairobi on Wednesday. Prophet Bushiri says whoever was responsible for the death of a child has been forgiven by the family.
And as you heard, a moment came which we had picked that she must go to Kenya to seek medical attention. However, that was not possible. I can assure you, government was not behind this, but a certain individual was. Whatsoever reasons he has against us and against our family and against the innocent soul, Israella'S, we just lost. We want to make peace with him. My wife and I are announcing our forgiveness towards this particular fellow. We hold no grudge because God has taught us to forgive and to forget.